Speaking of raging dumb shits, ladies and gentlemen, guys, guys, guys. There's been a lot of fluctuation in Junior's weight lately, but as stress has started to pile up, guys, he's gotten skinnier and skinnier, and it's and cokier and cokier. I don't know if you've noticed, you know. And I'm curious. This is, by the way, this is insanity. Are you ready to pay climate reparations? Okay. The problem they have with this, with the climate reparations is the word reparations, because they associate it with black people and slavery and yada yada yada. And the reality is that a good portion of, you know, developing companies have been environmentally wrecked, not just by the companies that roll in, and, you know, the Exxons of the world and like that, but have also, you know, the developing world, which has benefited from, you know, getting the resources from these areas, often at a cost far below even the maintenance of the space, you know, the country that they were in, making the water bad, the air bad, you know, adding to pollution and environmental factors, even beyond that, even just like, you know, waste from, you know, chemical waste from the process itself, right? So, well, thank you so much, Audrey. Thank you for Black Friday. Thank you very much. His shirt's inside out. So the obviously that's what he's going to have a problem with, but he thinks the whole thing is...
Can drinking water before bed burn 46 pounds in 2 weeks?
No.
If you are struggling to lose weight and you're over...
I don't know.
Well, guys, unfortunately...
I was stung by a coke bee in my left eye, and I've been up for 7 days straight. Guys...
Shockingly, this won't surprise anyone, but Joe Biden...
Shockingly, this won't surprise anyone? So we're supposed to be shocked at how not shocked we are? Shocking.
This week agreed to play climate reparations.
Oh, I love that game. He's going to play climate reparations? Sexy. Who wears the zipper hood besides your dad? I'm sorry.
Well, guys, unfortunately and shockingly, this won't surprise anyone, but Joe Biden this week agreed to play climate reparations.
Yes, climate reparations is a naughty, naughty game. I like playing it. I'm surprised he even knows the game itself. I mean, the rules change for everybody. Obviously, there's wind, there's ice baths, there's a riding crop involved. Don't even get me started on the Turkish volcano. It's basically you just run the line of all the environmentally related Urban Dictionary terms.
Climate reparations. We're going to pay $1 billion to compensate developing countries for global warming. Now, gas-guzzling China.
Gas-guzzling China.
Okay? One of, the world's largest polluter and offender of these things, despite having a huge economy. One of the fastest growing and
one of the fastest collapsing economies on the planet.
The largest, right? A huge military, despite stealing probably trillions of dollars worth of American IP, running roughshod with laws designed to protect,
Just look it up. He's looking up what laws. You could see he's like scrolling through his notes right now. What were they running roughshod over? What was the roughshod? The whole. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Give me a second. 1 second. I gotta find something, because if he gets to look something up, I get to look something up. Let's see. China. Let's see. Hold on, I've got to do. Okay.
As per a report, President Donald Trump spent about a decade unsuccessfully pursuing projects in China, operating an office there during his first run for president, and forging a partnership with a major government controlled company. As per the report, China is one of the only three foreign nations where Donald Trump maintains a bank account.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, you were saying, stupid?
People's patents and stuff like that. Now, despite all of that,
You mean like your sisters? I'm kidding. Why would they want that?
they won't have to
Believe me, Chinese people don't need any help, any lessons from Ivanka on how to knock off a Fendi purse.
into this fund because they're a developing nation. So despite being the worst offender out there, imagine.
Yeah, see, stupid. The idea is, first of all, China's not a developing country. They got developing country status, and they kept it because there's no way to shake them off of it over time. No country with a space program is a developing country. That's how it works. If you ask Russia, because Russia's not a developing country, and China's economy dwarfs theirs. But it's spread over a lot more people, and I think that's the rule about how a society's economy should be judged. You can, if you have the world's largest economy, but you also have the world's largest population, that's not indicative of a standard of living for your people. I think the standard of living we should look to as being impressive are the smallest countries with the highest GDP and the best health and welfare of their, their citizenry. Anyways,
I imagine India's probably up there as well, and I imagine they're not paying anything into this thing.
this is also one of those things like this is like Junior going, why should I get married if that guy is just dating? Why should I finish my plate if that guy's not finishing his plate? Why should I clean my room if he doesn't clean his room? Why should I brush my teeth if he doesn't brush his teeth? Like this is Trump. The Trumps do this as an argument for so many things.
We're going to spend another $1 billion of your money to fund this stuff.
Yeah, so that we don't have migration stampedes. But think of it as a border wall they never have to go to, stupid. Because in these places, if the societies collapse or the environments collapse or the fishing areas collapse or any of those kind of things, where the fuck do you think those people are going to go? I mean, I'm sure Junior and his ilk are hoping they just die where they stand, but that's not usually how it goes.
It's like being on Oprah, you get
Yes, exactly. You get a car and you get a car and you get a car.
$1 billion and you get $1 billion and you get $1 billion. And I'm sure going to some of these developing countries, others would refer to them as third world countries. I'm sure the money will go to a great cause, right? I'm sure.
The UN process we're putting this money into spends the actual money. They actually project it there. In a lot of cases, they actually hire the workers and get it done because it's very specific.
Sure, it won't get siphoned off to create some really wealthy people in government who are probably corrupt.
Well, if you're siphoning money from emergency climate relief, you'd have to be corrupt. There's no... Actually, I take that back. In that family, it makes sense too, because he probably thinks his dad isn't corrupt for all the siphoning that he did because, it's his dad. He deserves it.
But it's there to help these developing countries tackle climate change. Now, they're not going to actually do anything to change their ways, like China certainly isn't.
Yeah, different group of people, different countries. Poor and impoverished countries are a wreck. They don't have the means and wherewithal to do it. And again, just because China isn't paying into something like this doesn't mean we don't. This has always been a weird thing too with them. Is like, what difference is going to make if? And by the way, this kind of climate reparations, these kind of payments are not about the perceived change in climate or the perceived change in sea levels or the potential for it, the projected levels for the future. They're literally about damage that's currently happening right now or damage that's been done at cleaning up waterways and stuff that's not even like related to climate change as we know it. We're literally talking about cleaning up rivers and streams that have been poisoned. And so this helps people now. This isn't even, I would argue that a lot of these, quote, climate reparations, it's their environmental reparations, their pollution reparations. But because it's under the basket of climate change, and that's how most of the European countries linguistically look at the whole thing, and how the U.S. and other developed countries have kind of created the talking points around it, they don't bifurcate them into other levels. And there are projected climate elements where you change your behaviors so that you don't bring about those climate elements. And then there are behaviors that we've already done that polluted rivers and streams and fucked up, filled the ocean with shit tons of plastic and other stuff like that. That's the stuff that this stuff is for.
Right? They can be the world's largest polluter, but they're making a lot of money, so
No, they aren't.
They're not going to change anything. But the U.S. will mortgage our children's futures and livelihoods.
It's $1 billion. We have a $26 trillion economy with a T. I mean, the irony is that most environmentalists would clamor about how small this is.
While not being the worst offenders, while allowing the worst offenders to keep going about their own business.
Sorry, what are we supposed to do? Bomb their coal plants?
While increasing costs to the American taxpayers and American consumers.
No, actually, they're going down, even if they want to keep them up.
We're going to do this to help developing countries. No one else.
No, the European, we're doing it with the okay, fuckhead. Oh, God. Okay. Again, it's simply the word, hold on, where is this? What in the world? What in the Sam Hill is going on here? I'm going to open up this other guy. Hold on. For some reason, and I'm not quite sure why, the page, I was having this issue with Safari earlier. It was just being a big jerk. So I'm going to reopen it, beg your pardon. Here we go. Let me reopen this page, if I may, and get through the commercial, and then we'll jump forward ahead in this.
Well, guys, unfortunately and shocking.
Unfortunately, I gotta know what it is. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there you go. And then, let's see. Biden. Why it just freezes. So weird. All right. Force quit. Yes. Reopen. It's a very strange thing that's happening, and I'm not quite sure what causes it. It's just being odd. Chat works. There we go. Close this. Open this. Well, let's just continue with this. Anyways, I wanted to bring it up so I could show you exactly what the reparations stuff, the conversation was about. But
guys, unfortunately,
okay.
Laws designed to protect, people's patents and stuff like that. Now, despite all of that, they won't have to put into this fund.
By the way, and again, this is like, I don't understand it. Bank robbers don't pay taxes. Why should I have to pay taxes? Like, motherfucker, they go to jail.
Because
Oh.
they're a developing nation. So
Okay.
despite being the
So the audio thing is on my end.
worst offender
Okay, now it's just being weird. My whole system's being weird. It's rude.
out there,
Hold on. I'm going to fix something. Because I like doing it. I like doing a show. And it's just one of those things that we deal with. Let me go to this guy. And we'll try to get a thing with this guy. And here we go. Open this back up. Hopefully this handles it. Drift correct. There we go. Close that. Open this guy back up. And hopefully... Oh, yeah.
imaginable. I imagine India's probably
It's
up
better.
there as well, and I imagine they're not paying anything.
Okay, again, he's worried about developing countries that don't have any money not paying what the countries with money pay, or like it's this odd thing about how this economy spread over a billion plus people, and in the case of India, that's true, and in the case of China, it's questionable, but it's still way too many people, and their money's a lie anyway. It's like the story they tell about their economy is just garbage. So, how was your Mexican meal? It was lovely. Thank you for asking, actually, and now pizza's on its way. They're trying to like, I feel like I'm being fattened for slaughter. Okay, so again, he wrote India and China on a note.
To this thing, we're going to spend another $1 billion of your money to fund this stuff. It's like being on Oprah. You get $1 billion and you get $1 billion and you get $1 billion. And I'm sure going to some of these developing countries, others would refer to them as third world countries, I'm sure the money will go to a great cause, right? I'm sure it won't get siphoned off.
I'm sure it won't go into, guys, this is totally natural kind of gesturing, guys, for this kind of thing, because I can't use both hands to gesture because I'm scrolling through my notes right now.
To create some really wealthy people in government who are probably corrupt. But it's there to help these developing countries tackle.
Okay, help develop. It's the ironic or sarcastic linguistic irony. It's here to tackle. Look how he references to his left. So aggravating.
Climate change. Now, they're not going to actually do anything to change their ways. Like China certainly isn't, right? They can be the world.
Yeah, they're not getting the money. We're not paying them to take our money to fix their environmental issues when they could fix their own. This is so fucking lame. Oh, and you're absolutely right. Paul Augustine Stewart says he's mad that he didn't get a cut. He won't get a cut. The Trumps are hella mad anytime somebody else gets money. They have this idea that, they bought into this whole idea that government contracts are just handed out to anybody. There's tons of corruption. It's rampant everywhere. So why don't they get a slice? What the hell?
Just polluter, but they're making a lot of money, so they're not going to.
How many views does Junior have? People are asking. There's 1,017 rumbles, 1,700 and 11,000 views. I'll tell you my theory about that.
Change anything, but the U.S. will mortgage our children's futures and livelihoods.
Did he just spit again? Fuck me.
While not being the worst offenders, while allowing the worst
offenders
to keep going about their own business, while increasing costs to the American taxpayers and American consumers, we're going to...
By the way, how does that increase the cost to... obviously, oil's going down, so is natural gas. Literally, the demand destruction that's going on in China right now because of, COVID lockdowns is the reason oil and gas prices are going down.
Do this to help developing countries. No one else,
Yeah, no, the entire European Union is engaged as well.
That's actually doing the most damage is going to contribute. So hopefully when the House is taken over by the Republicans in January, we can stop giving out billions like they're chiclets. We can stop giving out billions to people who aren't doing anything to help themselves. And when
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The developing countries who built our economies off of petroleum and rare earth minerals and diamonds and cobalt and all kinds of other shit. We did that, and granted, in some cases there was a normal exchange of these things, or a growing normal exchange that happened over time, or an equalizing effect. But in a lot of places there weren't. And the environmental damage that was done affected people that had nothing to do with this trade, was done by, authoritarian regimes earlier that had total disregard for the safety and well-being of the people there. And one of the things we want to make sure is that those people can afford to live in their countries so they don't have to migrate to other places just to stay alive. What this idiot does not understand is that this is a down payment on stopping people coming to the U.S. border or to European borders, because they would rather live in their own countries. But if the water's bad and the ground is polluted, how the fuck can they? This is one of the biggest ways you do it.
World's biggest offenders who want to stand on a global stage and be right there with us in all these things, and they want all the power and the prestige. They don't want to actually contribute anything, right? Because they realize taking their citizens' dollars for this is probably not good use of funds. But no,
I think he's still talking about China.
they'll take our dollars and...
Yeah, our dollars are not going to China to fix these things in China. They're to fix other countries. And if China wants to kick in or help, they can, or they can do it through other means. They're not, but that doesn't mean we stop. I don't get this. Why should I bother to raise my children to be decent human beings when my neighbor's kids are just being raised to be pricks? That's the argument.
Blow it like there's no tomorrow. So guys,
well, there might not be one, stupid, if we don't handle some of these things.
Keep watching the nonsense.
Keep watching the nonsense. Don't let it happen. Wrap up language that he throws in.
Get away with it.
Don't let him get away with it. What do you mean, don't let him get away with it, motherfucker? What does that mean? Don't let them get away with it. I mean, if he wasn't such a weakling, I'd say it sounds like a threat of violence. But more than likely, it's just, he just needs to fill in the last 20 seconds with words.
Call them out, and hopefully the Republicans do the right thing and stop this nonsense until the biggest offenders actually start pulling some of their own weight, too.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait to try and deal with mass emergency migration until China decides to do something about it. Now, China has a reason militarily and economically to encourage mass emergency migration. As a matter of fact, they have a financial impetus to attack these countries and make people want to leave because they believe in using migration as a weapon against other countries, as Russia does. We're trying to mitigate some of that. This is a defensive move. But Junior is too stupid to understand this.
I know that's shocking. I know we're not allowed to ask people to contribute these days, right?
I don't even know where that comes from. Like, literally, what the fuck do you think the Paris Accord was, fuckhead?
Just those who do it naturally will have to keep doing.
Oh, somebody says Junior's been crying. Junior has not been crying. He's just, my theory is that he does too much speed in many different forms and his heart rate starts going, so he smokes weed to kind of calm himself.
Doing it. And those who are the beneficiaries of it can keep being the beneficiaries. I mean, this is Democrat policy sort of in a nutshell, but let's not let them get away with it.
Again, I don't even know what, let's not let him get away with it even fucking means. Hold on. This is jumping into the next thing. I'm not going to whatever this shit is. Ask Dr. Drew. Fuck him. No. By the way, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, and I think that shows taste and breeding on your part.